Hello all. A lot going on around the U.S. New hope for people on the more liberal progressive side, but we're going to go into a lot of detail today, so let's go ahead and get with what's happening around the U.S. environmentally. A U.S. federal judge gave Louisiana polluters a free pass to harm communities. A Trump-approved judge gave industry polluters an open license to pollute Louisiana communities for generations. So what do you have to say about that, Trump?
When I heard about this, how does the press get this information that's classified? How do they do it? You know why? Because it's an illegal process.
This is a setback in the push for accountability for corporate polluters. Cancer Alley runs 85 miles along the Mississippi River from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. Now this is the area where they have all these petrochemical plants that run up and down there, and the environmental community and the EPA has been trying to get some kind of control of all the pollution these plants are putting out. But what does Trump have to say about it?
You are old enough to have seen a time that was much different. You never saw heads chopped off until a few years ago.
This area has a long line of petrochemical plants in the corridor of pollution in Cancer Alley. A recent study showed that the air there is far worse than previously thought. So, Trump, what do you think of that?
They built pipelines, and they failed. Didn't work. They paid millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars.
The ruling even forbids the EPA and the U.S. Department of Justice from enforcing Title IV, thanks to Trump. And what does Trump think about it?
What's going on in Chicago? What is going on there? There's no excuse for it.
But on another front, a historic victory as Biden BLM restores protections for 28 million acres in Alaska from mining. So the mining companies can't go into this area and mine and disrupt the rivers and the lakes and tear down the trees just to mine some kind of gold or something like that. See, this reverses the decision by Trump to mine this land. These 28 million acres are some of the last truly wildlands in the U.S. Trump doesn't care about any wildlands in the U.S.
I think it should be. I think it would be frankly more interesting. I know how good everybody's ratings are right now, but I think they'd actually be better.
He'd be just fine if it was all industry and hotels and golf courses. But it's not all roses. Joe Biden approval of the Willow project has been an oil stain on his environmental record. So it's not all pretty. Of course, all politicians are going to bend their knee to the almighty dollar, regardless of how it comes. If it comes as a pollution or something that causes climate change around the world. But let's hope that Kamala Harris will do better. And by the way, Trump, it's called, her name is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Just in case you needed some practice on pronouncing her name.
How are the Republicans going to finally get together?
But I appreciate everybody's thoughts on this. Any comments are welcome, any ups, and definitely new subscribers. And until next time.
We grew closer than ever. And then he met Kamala, the blind date that would dramatically change all of our lives forever. It was my senior year of high school. Ella and I would laugh watching them fall in love, acting like teenagers. In 2014, Kamala became Mamala. She She took over Sunday night dinners and taught Doug how to actually cook. Our blended family wasn't used to politics or the spotlight, but when Kamala became senator, we were all excited to step up, especially my dad. Then Kamala became vice president. It felt like Doug was a bit out of place on Capitol Hill. I thought, what is my goofy dad doing here? But he embraced it. He left his practice after being a lawyer for 30 years. That was tough. I was so proud to watch him do it, to stand by her side, an example of true partnership. I just got married myself, and he's inspired me as a new husband. Anyone who really gets close to him knows he's kind, loving, and fiercely protective. I mean, just look at this face. This is my dad, the first second gentleman in the history of this nation. He's found his voice around the issues that matter to him.
You have no choice but to speak up and speak out.
There is an epidemic of hate, including a crisis of anti-Semitism in our country and around the world.
What they are doing on reproductive freedom and freedom in general is just outrageous.
And next, he's gonna make history again as the first gentleman. I can't wait for everyone to get to know why we all love him. He's the glue that keeps this family together. We might not look like other families in the White House, but we are ready to represent all families in America.